With the MCU in full force in 2021, we wanted to reflect on the past and give our list of the 10 best Marvel movie villains of all time. Enjoy. At number 10, Ultron, Avengers Age of Ultron. A sort of sentient robot son to Tony Stark, Ultron sounds cooler in theory than he actually is in execution. But he's voiced by James Spader in mustache-twirling villain mode, and he's the kind of unapologetic drama queen who insists on having his own throne. That's not anything.
Who survives Stryker's experiment? Everyone who creates them will tear them apart.
At number 9, Hela, from Thor Ragnarok. Odin's firstborn and the goddess of death, Hela is a formidable foe for Thor. She breaks Mjolnir. She kills the Warriors 3 with her knifey powers. She's played by Cate Blanchett. Even though Hela is sidelined for much of Thor Ragnarok, Blanchett imbues her with delightfully chilling villainy. Also, her outfit's among the best villain outfits in the MCU. Talk about being dressed to kill.
Cover it up and rise into the ranks of my great conquest.
At number 8, Mysterio, Spider-Man Far From Home. On paper, Mysterio looks like a pedestrian amalgam of Vulture, Justin Hammer, and Aldrich Killian. But the formula doesn't account for Jake Gyllenhaal chewing the absolute heck out of this role. In Mysterio, Gyllenhaal finds layers of sincerity with Peter, egomania with his team, and outright unhinged madness that's nothing short of delightful to behold. How did Tony Stark ever overlook this guy?
You told me,
I know this isn't real.
but not you.
At number 7, the Grandmaster from Thor Ragnarok. Grandmaster, Jeff Goldblum, may not be Thor Ragnarok's main villain, but the hedonistic leader of Sakaar more than steals the show. Everything from his sparkly blue makeup to his funny piano jam, Susan oozes funky, offbeat charisma, even when he's forcing unwilling fighters to battle who is championed to the death. Arguably the most fun Marvel villain, thanks in no small part to Goldblum doing what he does best. Grandmaster is a blast to watch. At number 6, Helmut Zemo, Captain America Civil War. In contrast to the colorful, power-mad personalities we've come to expect from comic book movies, Zemo is a quiet, unassuming man driven by grief. Best of all, the guy's kinda got a point when he points out that the Avengers are responsible for a lot of collateral damage. At number 5, Vulture, from Spider-Man Homecoming. Vulture is a basically normal dude, grappling with the fact that he lives in a superpowered world. But unlike our heroes, Adrian Toomes isn't inspired by example to become one of the good guys. He channels that rage into a successful black market enterprising selling alien weaponry. But what's fascinating about Adrian is that there was much more to him than supervillain. He doesn't seem to be playing a role in that way. Say, Obadiah Stane was only pretending to be Tony's friend so he could stab him in the back later. Adrian really is a family man, and he really is an illegal arms dealer. He contains multitudes, and a Homecoming doesn't shy away from his character. At number 4, Loki, from Thor and the Avengers. There's a reason Loki is the rare baddie to stick around for more than one movie, and a whole TV show. He's the only MCU supervillain who's as fully developed as the MCU superheroes, and with his sad tale of familial angst, he's almost as sympathetic. Plus, Tom Hiddleston gives Loki a slippery, smirky charisma that's hard to resist. You listen to one of his faux Shakespearean monologues, and tell me you're not tempted to cross over to the dark side. At number 3, Wenwu, from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Leave it to Hong Kong cinema icon Tony Leung to show up 25 movies into the MCU and proceed to wipe the floor with almost every other villain the franchise has come up with. He's a fascinating villain because he's a bad guy who isn't always a bad person. And the real tragedy of Shang-Chi is knowing Wenwu is mourning more than the loss of his wife. He's mourning the lost possibility of his own redemption. Also, he's a Marvel villain who keeps another Marvel villain as a human pet. That's god-tier villainy right there. AN. At number 2, Eric Killmonger, from Black Panther. Hot off the heels of Vulture revolutionizing MCU villainy came Michael B. Jordan's legendary turn in Black Panther. Eric is everything T'Challa isn't: vengeful, embittered, and deeply isolated. His methods might be villainous, but his message is compelling. Growing up in Oakland, far from the promise of Wakanda, he mourns generations of injustice black people have experienced around the world, teasing with envy at T'Challa and his supposedly charmed life. Killmonger's pain stays with us long after the credits roll on Black Panther, as does his chilling final line, PK. At number 1, Thanos, from Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Here we go, the big bad, the biggest bad. In 1, Thanos erased half of the known universe from existence. But it's more than that. The build-up to Thanos pretty much defined the entire pace of the MCU's first truly sprawling story arc, from Iron Man to Endgame. Marvel spent 10 entire years teasing him and setting up the massive villain before 2018's Avengers Infinity War gave him an outwardly significant role to play. It was a heck of a trick, and it wouldn't have worked without the decade of build-up making it clear that a larger, more malevolent puppet master was always pulling the strings, just out of view. There are more exciting villains in the MCU, but Thanos is, as ever, inevitable. Well guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Trending 10s, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching.